Right, what's going on in chapter 10? I've written in my notes, Ilya goes to bed and wakes up in a low mood. Well, it's not quite as flowery as that. Here's the book. Oblomov's state of mind was that of someone who, glimpsing the setting sun, is so taken by its ruddy glow that he has no eyes for the night that is falling behind him, and can think only of tomorrow's renewal of light and warmth. So, yeah, he's thinking about Olga's 3 I love yous. And he's measuring the depth of her love and is just on the point of nodding off into oblivion when suddenly ... And this is when he awakes, pale and gloomy. His face bore traces of sleeplessness and his brow was all wrinkled. His eyes had lost their sparkle, their eagerness. What's happened? Well, a bit of overthinking again. A bit of low self-esteem, a bit of imposter syndrome, a bit of what if. We get lots of what ifs in this chapter. He's of the opinion now that how could she possibly love him, someone like him? She's made a mistake quite clearly and he needs to set her free for the sake of her happiness. So he's sacrificing himself. And it says that who started the idea that it was about happiness or pleasure? The idiots. And he hears this, quote, gloomy, hectoring voice in his mind, which made me think of High Ren, because I've just watched it again. Ren is a musician, songwriter, rapper, who has put out this amazing song. I watched it probably for the first time 2 years ago, maybe even longer. I can't actually remember, but I remember being blown away by it, and it's now doing the rounds again on my Instagram feed. Reaction videos reacting to High Ren and some of his other music videos. So I'll put a link down below. You should go and watch it because, oh boy, it's hard hitting. And it really made me think of that as I was going through this bit of Oblomov, where he's got this voice in his head telling him, you don't deserve to be happy, that kind of thing. It says, in the evenings he would then immerse himself in a profound analysis of his happiness and inevitably dredged up some bitter dregs that would poison the whole cup. The effect of the poison was powerful and swift. I mean, wow, right? Is it depression? Don't know. Possibly. I've been through that and I know that voice. I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying it could be. And then we get this bit here where it says, there must be some mistake. So, yeah, he believes she's made a mistake. Her eyes must have been deceiving her. It was the treacherous whisper of her still untenanted heart. It was not love, just the premonition of love. The way she loved now was the same way she did her embroidery. Yes, this was nothing but a training exercise for love, a rehearsal for the real thing, and he was just a barely acceptable stand-in who happened to be at hand, someone to practice on. Imagine that feeling. It's just, whoa, grim. She was ready for love, eager to embrace it. The pores of her heart were open, and then someone happened to come along. Only the wrong one. I'm a usurper, a thief. What am I doing? What am I thinking of? How could I have been so blind? My God. So it's getting worse. The more he thinks about it, the worse he gets, the deeper into the abyss. And this is a phrase that he comes up with, the abyss. You know that old saying about if you stare into the abyss stares back? I don't know where that's from, but it's a powerful quotation. I should probably look it up. But you might have heard it. If you haven't, then now you have. He looks in the mirror and he says, this is not a face that anyone's going to love. Poor guy. And then we get this. This is pretty horrible. Love makes incredibly rapid progress. It's a kind of gangrene of the soul. Woo! Remember yesterday when he said, isn't it strange how joy and sorrow seem to produce the same symptoms? So he's saying here that love, any kind of turmoil that takes away your serenity, it's like a gangrene of the soul. Woo! So he writes her a letter. A long letter. It's like 3 pages long in the book, and we get the whole thing. He says, "You will find it strange, Olga Sergeyevna." And on he goes. He says, "This is fine for the young. They can easily tolerate the agonies and the ecstasies. But at my time of life, peace and quiet is the thing. It may be dull and soporific, but it's familiar. I just can't take that kind of turbulence." So that's the bit in the letter that stood out to me. It's upsetting his serenity. And at his age, what is he, 30? I mean, he's not exactly old. But compared to Olga Sergeyevna, I suppose he is. I think she's 20. And he's feeling that, you know, because she's so young, he owes it to her to share his wisdom, his life experience, such as it is, having never been married or in love. And so he basically, in his mind, sets her free. Says, "You may think you love me, but you don't. Your happiness will be spoiled if you stay with me. I need to set you free so that when the right man comes along, you'll be ready for him." So, how do you think she's going to take it? So the maid comes, not the man. So Zakhar doesn't give the letter to the maid because his instructions from Ilya were to give the letter to the man who comes from Olga's house to ask why he's not been to visit. So there's a whole thing. It's quite comic. It's kind of like a middle bit between the letter writing scene and then the letter delivering scene. So there's a bit there. I haven't written this down in my quotes, but where he's planning not to go. So she's sent the maid round and said, "You must come and meet me in the park, and if you've read this book, you have to come and see me." Something like that. It says, where is she right now? "She's gone out to the village and said to tell you that if you finish the book, please to come to the garden after 1 o'clock. And the maid left. "No, I won't go. Why stir up feelings when it's time to end it all?" Oblomov thought to himself as he started out towards the village. So I just found that quite funny. He's decided not to go and he's talking to himself as he's on his way. It's like, okay. So she doesn't take it well. She's in tears. She's upset. I mean, understandably, this is a big deal. And she gets angry. And then they have a whole thing. Big, long discussion. And he says, yes, it's not just love. It's true of everything in life. It suddenly occurred to him. And if you reject every opportunity as a potential mistake, well, then everything becomes a mistake. What was I thinking of? I must have been struck blind or something. And Olga says, you see, I know why I love you, and I'm not afraid of mistakes, because I'm not mistaken in you. Isn't that just beautiful? So she basically gives him a bollocking and says, what are you doing, Ilya? How dare you? Your doubts, your insecurities are infuriating. You have to have faith. And my love for you comes from that point of faith. And I don't know what's in the future, just as you don't know what's in the future. But I'm willing to take a chance. And that's what my love for you means. I'm willing to take a chance. And he realises what an arse he's been, basically. And realises he can't live without her, which he knew before. But he realises he doesn't want to set her free, or perhaps she turns him round to believing that his act of sacrifice is misplaced and that it isn't setting her free, because it's up to her. She's made her choice. It's not up to him. And they reconcile. And she says that she's glad that he wrote the letter after him saying that he wishes he hadn't, that it was a mistake. She said, no, I'm glad you did, because, you know, it's showing me that your love, your vulnerability, your honesty, these are all real, which is just what Andrei told me about you, that these were your qualities. And I see that now in the letter that you've written. If you hadn't had true feelings for me, you wouldn't have stayed up all night in turmoil and got up and written this letter to me. So all is well. And then he goes back home and he thinks of the lilac, which comes up in the conversation that they're having during the letter reading scene. And the lilac is fading, is the metaphor that it uses. And then he says just at the end, the lilac has gone, so has yesterday and last night with its ghosts and oppressiveness. Yes, even this moment is sure to pass and wither like the lilac. But at the very time that last night was ending, today was dawning. I just love that little paragraph there. What does it tell us? That we don't know the future and that every moment passes and it's a moment. So I think we've left them both in a good place, and I'm looking forward to seeing where they go in the next chapter. I hope you are too. Incidentally, I am writing short essays about this book as well, chapter by chapter, over on my Substack, which you'll find at camscampbellreads.substack.com. And I'm sharing these videos there as well as some written commentary. And I've noticed of late that I think because of the cadence of this, that I'm putting these out daily, I'm losing quite a lot of followers on YouTube. And I'm okay with that. You know, I've made my peace with it. Sometimes it gets me down a bit, and then I have to bring myself back up and understand that this is what I want to be doing. This is the kind of content I want to be making, because it's making me read this book ever so closely, which I'm having a lot of fun with. And I enjoy watching this kind of video as well, so I know that there are people out there who enjoy it. If you're not here for this, please don't unsubscribe. Please just stay if you can, because there is going to be the more regular content as well. My monthly wrap-ups, my TBRs, discussions of all kinds of bookish things, other Russian novels as well. But this vlog style here, I understand if it's not for you. That's one of the good things about Substack, actually, is that you can set up different sections. And so if my readers are not interested in this book, but they're interested in another book, you can select which ones you receive emails for. It's a great system, and I love it. So, yeah, and if you want to come over and follow me there, it's possible that if my channel continues to tank, I might start to make these unlisted and then share them on Substack so that my readers there can still watch the videos. I don't know. I'll give it some thought and see what I think. But if you're enjoying these, please let me know down below. And I just need a signal of some sort, even if it's just from a couple of people to say, Cams, these are worthwhile. I would love to hear that, because at the moment it feels a bit like I'm tanking my channel. Doesn't feel good. So, yeah, I'll just drop that in there and I'll say cheerio. See you tomorrow for chapter 11.